something like that. Let him shine, not by getting ahead on the lane, but by finding the place later for the team.
Okay. We jump into the second game of this Champion Select. Yet again, same bans. I don't think these are going to change as we go along. Maybe as an adaptation towards something they need to provide. This Fearless Draft is going a little bit deeper. Keep in mind, every single time a champion is picked, you see those 10 up there. They're no longer allowed throughout the entire series. It doesn't matter who picked them. It's out. We don't get to see them yet again. I would like to see Cassante up there so we don't see it anymore, but then Bess is there, so I'm a happy individual. Rumble, Draven, and Ione. On the other side, Callista, the Skarner. It's the usual. What is your last ban?
Xante. You know what? If we don't see him on the up there because he's in the bounce all the time, I'm quite happy with that as well. But that still leaves a lot of AD carries open, and I feel like when we're looking at these two bot lanes, the big question mark is always going to be what Rusty and Hamza are going to go with. But I already like how we're opening it. I was just mentioning the Maokai, the supportive champions for Winter. This is still a flex on the blue side, but if it goes into Winter's hands, I feel a bit safer about this game compared to the last one.
It's a Ruddy Sack's rotation was so quick that they must have had some prep ready for a Maokai B1. Varus Jace, a lot of poke, like you say, potentially. Lightside need to answer with, the rock, paper, scissors answer of just more hard engage, I think, now. At the very least one, and then, a damage carry of their own. There's the Rel, that should get locked in. Again, not quite as snappy, does rely on Fog of War and Flash, but still with Maokai there, you can make a lot of things happen very easily. Now, I would expect Rusty's answer, because you probably don't want your AD pool pinched out as heavily, but we could also see an answer for Harbo at the same time, just because I think we've definitely seen the champion pool get a little bit, pinched, but Jhin, I think perhaps lessons learned from yesterday by Lightside when we got to that game, that game 3 where their draft was a little bit awkward and they had to answer out of the Caitlyn. Pick up the Jhin now, and now you've got two, what I'll describe over-the-top engage tools between the Jhin ultimate and the Maokai. You've got the Rel there now, you just need two true damage dealers in the solo lanes.
I agree 100%. We jump into the second phase as Leona is locked in as well. So a lot of that support champion pool being removed for the other game, game 3. We'll see as it goes. Meanwhile, AD carries, you have the poke unless Hums wants to provide with on a hit. Meanwhile, for the bans, what do you take? You go for the mid lane? You try to take him out? Oh,
you go for jungle.
Still don't believe the Maokai is in jungle.
There is
Winter played with him, yeah.
Yeah, he did play with him, to be fair. But there is already the promise of range for Lightside. There's already a lot of engage whether they decide to go into committal or non-committal. It would be so good to see hybrid on stuff like Wukong, so maybe something even like J4, Xinjiao, also something we have seen from him yesterday already. So something that can follow up with all the engage possibilities that Lightside already have on their side.
Like the bands coming out so far. The Akali says to me that they don't want to deal with any potential dive, whilst it's definitely off theme with what Ruddy Sack have right now. It's obviously very in theme with Leader's champion pool, and if you're dealing with getting poked and then maybe an Akali flanks on some low HP targets, obviously it's significantly more difficult to deal with. And the Wukong ban says to me that Lightside not fully sold that Hybrid will be picking up this Maokai, and I don't necessarily blame them. The Vi as well, as an additional ban on top of that. It would be kind of funny now, I think, if Lightside just decide to put Hybrid on the Maokai and then, give Winter and Harbo, the respective champions that they kind of want to play off of. But Winter is predominantly a tank player, right? This is usually what he kind of leads into, these bruises, these tanks. So Ruddy Sack just calling that out and making sure Hybrid doesn't, have a very favorable engaged champion alongside the Maokai.
Taking away the Akali, taking away the Silas. What is your plan for Harbo? We've seen the Rise. I don't think we should see the Rise anymore unless Harbo has a different plan for their champion. But it's now on to Ruddy Sack to reveal another card as we go into the second phase. You have Engage, you have the Poke. Do you complement with more Poke or you go for the Jungler and you save Leader at the end? Apparently that's what they're going to do. Even if they want to flex somehow the Jace. We've seen Jace in the mid lane to be a little bit annoying. But yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think it's definitely just a little bit more of a wonder pick compared to the, compared to what Leader's pool usually would entail. Now for Lightside, let's see if this Maokai is going to end up in Winter's hands or if Hybrid is going to have a, a slightly more skirmish heavy jungler, and he will. It is the volley bear. It is
the
definitely a hybrid, hybrid special. Yesterday I called it out as a throwaway ban because I think in its place it should have been a Cassante realistically, but it's not like hybrid doesn't play. We all know. So now he's gonna have a lot of early aggression. Harbor, I'd love to see paired this up with. I was gonna say, to me, you know, something a little bit more mid game focused, but the Azir I think gives them a lot more front to back damage potential, which they were definitely lacking. They needed some DPS somewhere on this composition. The Azir is going to provide that for them.
Wrap it up with the last one for leader, and if you have the Victor, you have all the control, but Wei brings you even more range to pair up with the Jace, with the Varus. That would be an interesting, we've seen it yesterday, and there you go. It's locked in. Okay, both compositions have different personalities. I would like to understand what they can provide and what can we expect.
I love this last pick for Ruddy side, by the way, because it's doubling up on the range that they already have and on the poke opportunities that they have, and at the same time they're not lacking in their engage opportunities either, with Xinjao, with Leona, and with Jace on top of that. So it's a well-rounded comp. I like it from the Ruddy side, but at the same time from Light side, these can be more explosive if things go well for them in the early game, or if they don't give away a huge lead to Ruddy second the way out for Harbo to scale up on this Azir, because we have already seen him on this champion. He can do some funny things on it. It's not that I would put all the eggs into that basket, so that's why I really think Hybrid needs to be on his top game today. And I think this Volibear is going to be the key of whether Lightside take this game or not.
Early game is important. Jamada, last words.
Yep, I love the composition from Lightside. I just wonder if the Hui is going to break the overall dive, because he's so good at just bursting frontliners very efficiently and very quickly. We'll have to see once we get into game.
M1 was the domination coming in from Ruddy. Can LLS pull the light towards them, or will Ruddy put this on match point? Whoever loses is out, and keep that in mind as we toss it to an ad before we jump into the game. I'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere.
Hello there, welcome back. We are ready to jump into Game 2 of this series, where Lightside are going to be hoping that things go a little bit better than they did for them in Game 1, right, Troublelink?
I don't like it at all! I needed something to come out from LLS, and they are being severely outraged by everything. They'll probably be taking damage and dying, and they won't even be seeing enemy champions on their screens. That's how bad the outraging is. However,
positive
listen,
vibes.
I'm gonna be an optimist here.
Okay, let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
I do like the Jin Rel lane because it's a Volibear. Volibear is one of my particularly favorite champions to watch in competitive play, because they get down and dirty in the early game. That's where they shine on that one item spike. Volibear is probably, and even before that, level 1. Volibear is one of the strongest 1v1 champions. So I would love for LLS to sort of set up the lanes right here, get wards into Jankos' jungle, and try to sneak in Hybrid in their level 3 for the 1v1.
And maybe don't lose 2 kills at the level 1 as well.
Hey, that's been successful so far.
Yeah, mission accomplished. This game already going better for Lightside. But I like the overall theme of agency that you're touching on, because I think that is a really important thing when you are playing against a team like Ruddy Sack, who do have these like very, very highly skilled players. I mean, we saw what they were able to do last game. I feel like Lightside, they had a little bit of pick, but they didn't have many just big go buttons that can throw themselves into a fight and stick there for a long time. They've potentially got too many of those in this game, but that is going to give them a bit more of a fighting chance when it comes to these skirmishes, where maybe someone is getting caught out a little bit. If they could turn that into an engage, though, things will look a lot better.
However, a lot of the times, the price that you have to pay when you do have a lot of engage on your team is the damage downfall. And even though I absolutely love Volibear to beats in the early game, I have never seen a champion fall off a cliff like this. On 2 to 3 items, he is literally probably one of the worst champions in the game, because his kit is fantastic when it comes to skirmishing, to 1v1, to 2v2, but when it comes to team fights, he usually has to commit his ultimate super early to reach that backline to then get the trade. But I think he's pretty much a sitting duck. He does his combo, and then he just pretty much dies. That's why a lot of the times you don't see Volibear doing that well in the late game. However, if Hybrid can leverage that strong early that the champion has, potentially get a gank or two down in the early game, which I think he's thinking about right now. But they might have
Rusty
Sniper the waits a little bit.
Yeah, they're walking up. Oh, hold on. Hustlin's going in. Rusty Sniper is going to be dropping low. Humza gets caught by the crash down. First blood for Highbridge on the Volibear, and Hustlin just trying to get something. Rusty Sniper caught out under the tower, but trades it back. Another 2-for-1 in the early game, this time going in favor of Lightside.
All right, great news if you're an LLS fan right here. You've got a kill onto the Volibear and a kill onto the Jhin, the two members that really do matter with these kills early on, especially since everyone is squishy early on and Jhin deals a bunch of damage to non-tank units. However, I'm a little bit questioning the decision-making from Hustling right there to actually engage in this fight. I feel like it was a little bit too obvious from Rusty and Leo Lecargo when they walked over that minion wave to try and get an engage through. I felt like it was a little bit obvious that there was a gank incoming from Hybrid towards the both side of the map. They didn't necessarily sniff this out, and they ended up paying with two deaths.
Yeah, a wise man once said, when the wave is coming in, unacceptable there from Hustling. I'm sure that Don Jake is going to be having words with him. Someone he's not going to be having words with, though, is Wonder, who was already built up around about a two-wave advantage in the top lane in terms of CS, and Winter really isn't getting much of a sniff of this matchup as Jankos is potentially looking for a bit of retribution in bot lane.
The dive, Rusty has no flash, no glance.
Hustlin is going to be one tanking the tower as it stands. Rusty Sniper able to get a hit off, and it will be a trade. AD carry for support, not the worst for Lightside, but a proactive move executed from Ruddy.
That's good stuff from Ruddy right here. Don't care if you lose your support. You're pretty much going to get tempo anyway. He'll just spawn now. He can roam towards mid. He can go towards Jankos. You see him on the map right now. However, the most important part is that Rusty is losing very valuable CS, which Leo Lecargo is willing to guard with his HP. He'll grab a couple of his. Actually, will he? The whole wave is kind of dead. Maybe he got one of them right there. So that's the big hit from that dive. It's you don't necessarily see the bright side of the kill, which is 300 gold, fair enough, but also putting that Jhin behind, especially since that gank did put him ahead in the early game from Highbridge. Great stuff right there. Juggling on the aggro, not the best, but you really, again, don't care if you lose your Leon. Oh,
not the worst thing in the world.
Got deja vu on the opposite side.
Is Highbridge bot lane again? I feel like Lightside have identified a potential win condition. And you do need to get either the Jhin or this Azir ahead, otherwise you are going to be sorely lacking for damage. Jankos is on the top side as this wave is coming in, so Hustlin and Humza are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Only 2 bullets left here for Rusty Sniper as the TP is going to be channeled. Already 1 kill in favor of Lightside, and it's just a repeat of what we just saw. 1 dead for 1, and Rusty Sniper is going to walk out with more gold in his pocket.
I absolutely love how both supports are willing to completely give up their lives for kills.
Yeah, but like Hustlin right here, I'm not sure he's even going to get a kill out of this one. Really nice fear coming out from leader as Rusty Sniper.
Where?
Not going to be able to finish him off.
Jhin?
Yeah,
if it was any other AD carry, he'd have another auto right there.
I'm not going to lie, Trouble. Rusty did look a little bit weird there. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not going to imply that I understand the reason for the pause, but the Jhin was stutter-stepping a little bit there. I feel like Rusty has paused, going, I should have been 4th-shotting Hustling and taking him off the rift, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. Could be completely wrong. But, idle speculation aside, Trouble, early game, a bit bloodier sort of both ways here. How are you feeling about it for Ruddy and Lightside?
I feel for LLS, that's exactly what they should be doing. Get that Volibear ahead, get that Jhin ahead. Again, these champions are so good at dealing with skirmishes and damage in the early game, especially since Jhin cannot break through tanks, and also Volibear falls off super hard in the late game. So they need to make sure that they get kills on these two champions, and they've been doing this very well. Hybrid has pretty much set up a tent down that bot lane, and he's just circling around every single clear of his jungle. He just ends up bot lane over and over again. For Ruddy, I feel like as long as they can keep the map in an even state, they outscale and they outrange, which is a pretty good thing to have when you go into the late game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't looked at top lane at all because that's not where the action
haven't
has
had to.
been. But yeah, Wanda has just been doing that thing that you can do as a very good top laner, where you silently build up this lead, and it's interesting to see the switch in priorities from Ruddy. Right, first game, Jankos was top lane constantly. It was in the bot lane because of the lane swap, but he was ganking for Wanda. This time, he's like, do you know what? You're playing Jace versus a Maokai. There's no way that the Maokai is ever going to kill a former G2 member in top lane. We haven't seen that before in the NLC. You're going to be fine. I can put my focus down into the bot lane and try and neutralize what LLS are generating.
Yeah, and you also have a lot of setup, right? You have the Leona down there. After level 6, you're going to have Chain of Corruption as well from Varus. So there's a lot of ways that you can get that Xin Zhao engaged in a fight down over in the bot lane. Whilst in the mid lane, you're kind of chilling with the Wei, you're kind of chilling with the Jace, as you mentioned as well. So again, for Ruddy, they can just throw their hands up as long as they stay even on the map. I feel like they definitely outscale when it comes to those team fights and the damage output that the champions have. And all they have to do is just keep neutralizing every single attempt that LLS throws their way.
Yeah, so a little bit of information. There was a bug, allegedly, in the game, no Kha'Zix, so hopefully that's all going to be sorted and resolved fairly quickly. But I am intrigued to see what this game turns into, though, for Ruddy, because it was a measured, a deliberate early game for those first sort of 15 minutes of game one, and then it just felt like they decided that there was violence and that they could just stomp down on Lightside as much as they wanted to. I don't know if they're going to be given the same opportunities in this game, because Lightside have shown a real propensity to fight back.
Yeah, I feel like, especially if you're coming in as the underdog, I feel like getting that heat towards the opponent team might throw them off guard. But I just want to remind that these people that are on the enemy team thrived in their professional careers by bringing that chaos. But I feel like this is something that we'll talk about when we also go back into the Rift, because if I'm not wrong,
yeah, people are talking about chrono breaks in the producer chat, which is always a little bit of a scary thing. So we are going to be jumping to a hopefully short break. We will see you on the other side. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. So, a little bit of an update onto why we've been paused. We have had to chrono break the game, which is a first for me, so that's exciting in a very small sense that I've got to wait longer for League of Legends, which isn't great. Rusty Sniper reported a bug with his Jhin where he couldn't auto and basically stuff wasn't working, but we jump back in and Highbridge is dead. Not the way that Lundqvist Lightside would like to be getting back to the action. What on earth just happened there?
Well, there was some button pressing.
Yes.
And that Volibear is back in base. However, there might be a slight bug in your screens because Highbridge is half HP.
The scoreboard is not updating, unfortunately. Yeah. So, for the time being, we can pretend that Highbridge hasn't died this game. Which I imagine would feel pretty nice. It looks like we are getting a little bit of action in the topside river there as Leo Lucago and Highbridge are interacting with Jankos, Hamza and Hustlin. Wonder there with the priority in top lane like he's had the entire game is getting the first move down, but that's left Jankos exposed and Harbo able to pick up the kill. Highbridge is going to fall in trade. Emperor's Divide from the light side mid laner to get himself on out of there as Hamza replies with some damage, but not enough to take him down.
So overall, a trade right there of kills for Ruddy and LLS. Again, as long as Ruddy keep the balance of the game, they're not going to have any issues whatsoever with the late game. They've got engaged, disengaged, mixed amounts of damage. They've got ultra range onto LLS. That's why I feel like you're seeing LLS being so damn proactive in that early game. They need to leverage having that Volibear in the early. But let's have a look at it one more time. Okay, it's this one. All right, so Jankos gets caught in the river by jungle support duo, and then everyone from Radisak gets onto his aid. You see Wonder also roaming down the river. But Highbridge, again, being the Volibear, you can very easily get those picks. He does pay with his life as well. Overall, he's just the one.
Yeah, but I feel like for Ruddy, that was a kill that they definitely didn't need to give up there. Harbo completely on vision as he moved his way over. A little bit over-eager chasing for that kill. Nonetheless, Joshua, we still are having another one of these early games where Lightside are giving as good as they get and Ruddy are trying to build small advantages. The big question is, what happens when we hit 15 minutes? What happens when we start getting a bit closer to the mid-game? Are Lightside going to be able to keep up the tempo, or will Ruddy just pull away again?
I mean, if both of these teams keep up this tempo, we're going to get the Blackout on the map for sure. Hustling, Genko one more time.
Yeah, it doesn't have the flash as... Oh, yeah, no, he is going to use it. A little bit of a spectator issue there. Not too happy about that, but Hamza and Hustling low HP under this tower. This is exactly what Rusty Sniper wants. Flash away from the Ready Sack ADC, but I'm not sure how much longer he is going to be alive. What? Rusty Sniper just doesn't auto him. Hamza will finally go down. Little bit of a butchering of the play there from Lightside. Does Jankos fancy it? Misses on the wind, becomes lightning, and decides better off trying to find anything more.
Meanwhile, leader pushed all the way Harbo underneath his tower. Let's have a look again at this play. It's pretty good stuff. You still have the cannon, so LLS have been trying to build this one up, and I feel like Hustling feels like he's safe because he sees the wave is so far away. There could potentially be a dive already. And as you can see, Highbridge was already in position, uses his ultimate right here, Hums. He just sells Hustling. You're like, listen, mate, you're dead already, might as well. Now, this is where the miscommunication happens because you need Highbridge to
just
tank
walk
the tower.
Just walk at him.
I think he's waiting Q cooldown to come back up. There was still cleanse onto Hums. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. That's where the miscommunication happens. No miscommunication right there. Hums
Harbo's
dies.
dead. Hums is dead. Jankos is flashing away. It's, well, I feel like we haven't left game one with the amount of action that is hitting our screens. It's still going slightly in favor of Ruddy Sack, and that's going to be magnified if and when this mid lane tower falls down. That feels like that's been a consistent point of these games. Leader has just got Harbo's number.
Yeah, and honestly, it hurts. Below 10 minutes. Never mind, I will not get to speak. I will not speak.
No,
You have action.
it's arrogant from yourself, Trouble, thinking that you're going to be able to speak over a game of League of Legends.
Listen, anyway, there's no analysis here. You go. You do,
Yeah,
you do your
okay,
thing.
right. Okay, Leo Lucago, he does have level 6, and he does get a double stun, he does get the Magnet Storm off, dodge away, but it's not enough. Hamza will take down Rusty Sniper in trade, and now Highbridge is looking for the Ruddy Sack ADC under the tower, but he's got to get on out of there thick and fast. Hamza's got a lot of damage that he can reply with. Still, 0 kills to 0, 0 gold, 0 towers taken, and we are 20 seconds into the game, apparently.
I cannot stop thinking of that TikTok meme where it's like, where there's like really calm music in your head. This is Wonder right now. This is
Yeah.
what's happening on the rest of the map. Absolute carnage. And Wonder is just chilling with Winter on the top side
Yeah,
of the
well,
map.
hold on. I get that the enemy ADC is 7 kills, but I've got a 40 CS lead at the moment, and might be getting a kill onto Wonder as he's rooted up there by the shot. Splash away, still going to get hit by Rusty Sniper. Misses the third, but hits with the fourth. Trusty Sniper is locked in.
Little bit of a caster curse right there. I was like, hey, he's not getting in on the action. They made him get in on the action, and that's exactly what LLS need. Hybrids right there, establishing some dominance in his own jungle. Oh, that was right.
Ooh, Rusty potentially in a rough situation, but it's actually Hustlin who's in danger now. Shots coming out from the Jhin, now going to be chased down by Hybridges. Winter is caught out a little bit in the middle of things. It's 9 kills from the Jhin. Apropos of nothing else, this is what people expect when they see Rusty Sniper on the roster sheets.
Okay, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand by Ruddy Sack because they keep getting caught in a lot of these positions. Remember the whole like content fan, we can win, we stomped in game number 1. It's not quite the same case right here. This Jhin gets out of control, already has the Collector, Sundered Sky for the Volibear. You're gonna keep bleeding on the map. It hasn't necessarily translated into any big objectives yet, as never mind, little cargo. Okay, I get a moment right here. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna juice the heck out of this moment right there. As never mind.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because Wonder and Harbour are fighting in the bot lane. A few more hits to the back of his head, and Wonder takes him down. As meanwhile, in the top side, big engagement as Rusty Sniper gets his 10th kill of the game. 12 minutes in. Hustling will try and take down the AD carry. He'll be successful in that endeavor, but surely he's going to be going down as well. Leader making his way over, gets the ultimate down as Leo Lucago has to run, abandoning his jungler to his fate. But Highbridge is not done. Goes back in, a couple more autos would do it as the Leona is wiped off the map. Leader out of mana, but he's got just enough for the shutdown. 27 kills, 13 minutes. Are you not entertained?
Oh yeah, we are definitely getting Bruno Satakan in this game. Craziness all across the board. Let's start from the top side this time around. It's a pure 3v3, junglers and bot laners all together. Now, reminder, this Jhin is very, very fed, and Leo Lucago gets a fantastic flash out, and the re-engage right there, and it's only Hustling left. So even if you do get your shutdown lost on the Jhin, it doesn't matter because you went over to enemy support. Now, Leader, throughout all this time that's happening, he has the time to roam up to the river, and Hustling gets a very crucial stun right here. However, Leader is out of mana, just about gets that finishing bit of damage to get that shutdown for himself. All in all, again, I just want to point that Ruddy are playing a little bit too not cautious, I want to say. I feel like Hustling has overextended 6 too many times at this point, and he is the primary engage for Ruddy. That is for sure. However, Hybrids and Rusty are so fed at this point that you cannot be blindly checking spots if you're hustling.
Yeah, and I think that if your name's Wonder, if your name's Leader, you've done a very good job within your lane, but you've got to face down this Jhin who's already at 2 items. Of course, they're well on their way to their second items as well, but it's going to be a tall task to take him down before he takes you out. Ruddy Sack looking for their second dragon of the game as they picked up the mountain a few minutes ago. Didn't really have the opportunity to discuss anything about like objective-based win conditions in the previous game because the gold lead was just too monumental, but as Lightside will look to pick up a few towers of their own, then those dragons really can become important in determining the fate of these teams in this game.
Absolutely, and it's also going to force more and more fights for the time to come. And I feel
More
like
fights?
Yes, LLS have to milk those opportunities where there are objectives up. We're going to have the Rift Turtle up in just a bit as well over in the Baron Pit. And this is going to be another point of contention right here. You would say that Wunder and Leader have done well in the respective lanes. However, Wunder has done great in the mid lane as well. Never mind, we've got another engage.
Oh, here comes the curtain call. Jankos and Hustlin will not fall just yet as the Chains of Corruption go a little bit wide. Hybrid goes back in, that has to flash away immediately, and here comes Wunder. Jankos diving onto Harbo, but he's just going to be able to get on out of there in time as Hybrid is running for the hills in top lane, and I don't think he's going to find any safety there. Wunder brings down the hammer for his second kill of the game as Ruddy Sack looked to push onto the top lane tower.
Yeah, Ruddy have so many ways of reaching you. If it's not engage, it's long range spells, AD, AP, re-engages, defensive spells. They just have the whole pack pretty much on their kit right here, and it just shows in these fights. I feel like LLS, they have the complete right to try and create chaos. They have been doing over in the early game, but Ruddy have been more than happy to just fight back. To just literally just dive themselves into the mud pit and start fighting together with LLS, knowing that even if they trade even, we've said it over from the early game, they will be better off in terms of team fighting and scaling.
Yeah. As, this was actually a fight that Lightside chose for themselves. I think the issue here is that they just really weren't on the same page, and lacking a little bit of the damage that we highlighted in draft, they just can't kill Jankos or Hustlin.
Yeah, and the fourth shot right there misses Hustling as well because he is onto Hybrid. Right there, LLS create a fighting situation where Harbo was not full HP to begin with. Wunder has been absolutely bullying the guy. This is why I said Wunder has not only been doing good on the top lane, he's been doing good versus mid lane as well. But we have a contestation. Jankos.
Oh, stolen Herald there from Jankos as Leo Lucago was trying to find a fight. Double stun into the Chains of Corruption, into the one-shot. Harbo removed from Summoner's Rift by Hums, who's trying to escape here, but he won't be successful. Hybrid will take him down before Leo Lucago falls. And now it's starting to turn. Another close fight, but one that Ruddy Sack just about edge out.
Yeah, great still right there from Jankos. Getting that Rift Trail will help you open up the map as well. You know, you have a wave right here in the mid lane, and Azir plus Rel are dead. You can use that for point of pressure all across the map. You've got all tier 2 towers remaining in every single lane. And just to open whichever one you want with that Rift Trail, create some pressure, create opportunities to fight. Right here, second items are starting to rain into Ruddy Sack's inventories. And on the other side, LLS are sort of lucky. It's pretty much just the Jhin that is just about ahead in gold over the Varus.
Oh no, Hybrid, I think you are dead, my friend. Ult away, here comes Winter with the backup. Jankos gonna get caught, the wind becomes lightning, just connects onto the enemy jungler as Rusty Sniper will look to take out the Jhin Zhao, and Lightside are actually opting back into this fight. Leader dropping some damage down onto the Jhin. He can't contribute to the fight. He's not there. All of your gold is stood about 5,000 miles away, and that means the Ruddy could just clean up. 2 drop dead by Wunder, and Ruddy have decided that it's their time to win.
Again, those 2 item spikes on Ruddy Sack is everything they need to pretty much start forcing fight on site. Every single time you see an LLS member on the Rift, you have the right to engage onto them. A lot more damage, very easy engaging for LLS. I think at this point, yeah, sure, the Jhin is pretty fed, but it's going to take a miracle to turn one of these fights around. You do not have the damage to break through that Sinzao and the Leona. They barely scraped, actually, Hustling. And he's died already 6 times.
So our situation, we question whether Lightside would have enough damage to make these fights work, and on paper it looks like maybe they would, but they just can't find the access, and I think this was the big issue. Okay, Hybrid is getting caught out, that's fair enough. Really nice response coming through, but I want you to watch the minimap, Leader rotating down for the mid lane. He's going to cast some spells on Rusty Sniper that make it completely impossible for him to contribute to the fight.
I am so happy you mentioned that, because the Leader having that position right there means Rusty Sniper cannot stand still to cast Curtain Call. So the ultimate from Jhin, the one thing that gives him that much range, is taken away as LLS have engaged onto the Dragon. Meanwhile, RS, a little bit too late to the play. Might look maybe for a pick if LLS overextend right here. But it's not going to be the case. Winter
Oh, hold on. Leo Lucago has found Hunter. They are going to be engaging onto the front line, but you just don't get through them quick enough. Harbo is now going to go in. Massive Emperor's Divide. Shuffles back Yankos. Shuffles back Hunt. And Harbo has just turned this fight in favor of Lightside. Rusty Sniper can now start pumping out the damage. It's Highbridge fighting up against Leader. The Mayor's going to take him down. And it was looking dire for Lundqvist Lightside, but that man in the mid lane turned it all around. Rusty Sniper shoots Wonder in the head, and Huslin's the only one who's not dead.
Harbo is like the ugly duckling from the story. He's born gray, he gets bullied by the other ducks, but they don't know that he grows up to be the most beautiful swan they've ever seen. 1 and 5. Who gives a single frick that he's 1 and 5 when he can get these game-changing ultimates that change the entire fight? He's going to be the Ruinous Atakan. Well, unfortunately, at this point in time for LLS, because you would love to have the GA one. And let's watch this one more time. I feel like for Ruddy right here, they're overextending a little bit. They see Leo Lecargo. This is where you back off and try to build for Hams, which is what they try to do. Backing off on top of that AD carry gives Harbo the perfect opening to get that double shove onto Yankos and Hans.
Absolutely incredible. Shout out to Leo Lecargo as well. He's been over-aggressive with his positioning at times in the NLC, but he started off a pretty decent fight for Lightside there, finding that flank. Still though, Lightside are in a gold deficit, in a 4,000 gold deficit, but when you've got an AD carry this fed, there is always an angle to play out the fights. Hamza going to get taken to 50% HP as Highbridge needs to be careful. He stood pretty close to the fire, could get burned here as Leo Lucago is going to find another engage. Hustling trying to tank up in the front line. Leona dropping low. Highbridge also going to be falling down. Trade 1-for-1 thus far, but it starts to turn in favor of the Ruddy sack. Yankos with that ultimate on is just impossible to kill as here comes the range. Here comes the poke. But it's not quite enough. 2-for-1 in favor of Ruddy.
And LLSs keep over-forcing the matter. You have no business engaging the one guy that changed the course of the only fight. You straight up won this game, wasn't even there. Harbo was walking all the way from base. Didn't have the chance to get a shove in. And you actually need the Azir to create space for the Jhin so that Rusty can dance around members of Ruddysack. Again, it's going to get more and more difficult the later in the game this goes. There's so much range on the side of Ruddysack. 3 items on the Jace. 3 items almost onto the leader as well, who's finishing his Void stuff. It's going to be... that range damage is going to be raining your way. It's going to be impossible to bear with, and understand that LLS want to try and find an engage before that damage rains down. But they need to make sure that they have all their members on the ready.
I'll tell you what though. At this point in the previous game, there are probably just about as many kills as there are in this one, but they were heavily stacked in favor of Ruddy. Much more competitive this time around. Yes, it does look like it's all going to be on Rusty Sniper for the damage and Harbo to make miracle shuffles happen. But Lightside have got much more of a window in this game than they did in the previous one, and even if they do fall down, does beg the question, what can they do in this series? Are they just here to lose to Ruddy and propel them further through the losers bracket, or do we have a little bit more to see from the Swedish Orc?
I'll tell you one thing, we do have a little bit more to see right here, because the next dragon is just about to spawn in 50 seconds. And as you can see, LLS are already trying to set up some vision. Very important part right here is pressuring out the waves. Having multiple angles, in which you can approach the river is very important, especially since you want to snipe members like Hums, like Leader. Catching them coming from an angle that you have already established vision for is going to be very crucial for LLS. Right here, that mid lane wave has been pushed down. Unfortunately, you cannot take the mid lane tower. The waves are pretty important themselves.
LLS waiting in the bush. They're going to be able to catch out Hustling as Yankos interrupted on his intention engagement. Rusty Sniper flashing in to kill off the Jhin Zhao, and it's a messy, messy fight. Leo Lucago just about avoiding death before the burn from Leader takes him down. Rusty Sniper opening up with the shots. but he's not quite able to find anything more. Support dead for Lundqvist Lightside, jungler dead for Ruddy Stack, but they still want to contest.
And this is very scary for LLS right here because you have leader on the back with the wave poking. You've got the poke from Hums. They're so low.
Oh, you got to get on out of there. Winter locked in the pit, flashes away, but still ends up falling down. It's not a sub point. Harbour goes in but gets feared. The shuffle provides little, if anything at all. But in goes Highbridge. Such low health bars on Wonder. And the shot blast not quite hitting onto Rusty Sniper. This is messy. This is so messy. But Ruddy Sack are the ones thriving in the chaos.
I just want to explain to everybody how actually messy this is. Jankos had time to not only fight, but die and spawn and come back again. And now he's contesting for the red buff he could steal. Oh, he got spotted and he's out.
Yeah, get on out of there, bro. Get on out of there, bro. Oh my word. What on earth is going on in this game?
You can catch your breath. Thankfully, we only have the end of this fight. And again, this is where the range that we mentioned comes through. Leo Lecargo dead onto the Rel means that you have lost a big bunch of your engage. And it shows right here. It is very difficult to pin down the Ruddy Sack members, especially Leader and Hums. And this is where the downfall of Volibear begins. You see that Hybrids had to commit his ultimate in this fight to get anywhere near one of the members in the backline for Ruddy Sack, which means that then he has to use his Q to actually run out. He has no damage left. He's just feeling there for Rusty Sniper, who, by the way, in a competitive game, he has 17 kills on this Jhin.
Stacking up big numbers, 4 items completed, and obviously now post 25 minutes, Baron Nashor has hit the rift. There's very little to separate these teams, but if either one of them is able to pick up that buff, then things start to shift significantly. Harbo needs to be really careful. Those piercing arrows chunk from Humses. Jankos looking for an engage. Hybrid is going to get caught out. Ruddy Sack are the ones moving forwards, but not pulling the trigger. They're holding the gun. They're waving it in LLS's face, but they haven't fired it yet.
Unfortunately, that mid lane wave for LLS is the most important wave in the whole entire world, especially if you want to go for that Baron. You have not taken any towers on the top side of the map, so Baron becomes much easier for Ruddy Sack to walk into, having all the vision and all the pressure through the lanes. You see top lane, the wave has already been pushed by Wonder, if I'm not wrong, and now they're taking control of the mid lane wave, which means they're going to dip back into Fog of War, and LLS are going to have to face check them.
Oh, what is Hustlin planning? The Hex Flash channeled over, stunned by Leo Lecargo, who's going to go for a re-engage. The Leona is already dead as Jankos is locked under the tower. Ruddy Sack trying to play with the Rangers. Humza is thrown into the danger zone. Rusty Sniper with the 4th shot takes out the Varus.
18, 5, and 7. Rusty is having the performance of his life versus a team he's supposed to be an underdog against. Hustling sees the vision, doesn't see the execution through though, because he gets the engage onto Leo Lecargo. Both Harbo and Rusty were there, but he ended up going for the Rel. Rel pretty tanky. They're underneath the Azir tower as well.
Oh,
this ends up going pretty south for Ruddy Sack.
Beautiful. Oh my word. I tell you what, you would have got absolutely amazing odds on this game going post 30 minutes after game 1. And I think that few people might be benefiting from that payout. But now, objectives starting to get even more important. We've still got this Baron on the Rift. That fight in the mid lane not decisive enough to claim this objective. We have got a Cloud Soul spawning in just over 1.5 minutes for Ruddy Sack. They are the team with the map, they're the team with the tower advantage, they are the team in the lead. But Lightside are the team, for the moment, that is refusing to lose.
Yeah, I think you actually need Winter right there to actually face check for you. He's the tankiest member. You've got the saplings as well. Going to the bushes, the Chain of Corruption hits.
Well, they're going all in onto the Maokai, not usually the best strategy, as that's going to leave their side open, but still the Maokai ends up going down. Highbridge ulting away from the fight, not the direction that the Volibear wants to be going. That's 2 clean kills for the Ruddy Sack as Harbo. Yeah, no, there's a wall there, mate. You can't really go in that direction. Wonder, though, going to get caught out. The 4th shot from Rusty Sniper once again. Taking names, taking out people left and right, and maybe that is enough to prevent a Baron start from Ruddy.
Oh man, if you don't kill Rusty Sniper, and you know he has curtain call. You cannot approach the Baron, but Rusty doesn't know. He doesn't know that they're there. Ooh, he just about missed. It is so difficult, honestly, if you do not have Winter with the saplings and his tankiness. And what tankiness? You saw how fast he melted. There's people with 4 items, 16 Magi stacks on leader, a bunch of 10 on both the Jace, the Wei, and the Varus. They're burning through all the defenses of this Maokai. It's just becoming so difficult because LLS have not opened up the map to naturally get vision through the waves that they push. It's become so difficult. Never mind.
Wait, we're just going on to Jankos. Hamza whiffs on the ultimate. There is in comes Leo Lucago once again with the engagement. Jungler down. Mission accomplished for Lightside. And hey, they might be able to take leader off the picture as well. That's a 2 for 0 for the blue side team now as Wonder is trying to pick up Highbridge, but he heals so much. Out of nowhere again. Lundqvist Lightside refused to lose.
22 kills on this Jhin. Rusty Sniper is guarded with everyone's life. LLS are not shy of against it.
Oh my god! What on earth did he just do to Hamza's health bar?
What is going on?
This is scary. This is very scary here for Ruddy. No TP on leader when he respawns. It's just Wonder. It's just Hums that have to defend against this Baron.
Can't. There's no way.
They can't get in. After a game 1 where they were demolished, destroyed, decimated, and scattered across the rift, Lundqvist Lightside don't just show determination, they don't just show gumption, they show up in game 2, take a big fight and then get the Baron.
And again, someone's overextended by the Ruddy sack. Whether it's hustling, this time it's Yakos, they catch them, then leader tries to overextend to help the situation, and then that goes south, and the hustling and Wonder pick a fight with Haybridge, that goes south, but this one's going north because they're going for the win.
Yeah, hustling just all on his own. He's gonna drop straight after the mid lane tower. 23 kills for Rusty Sniper, the most superlative performance that we have seen from this man in a very long time. No real way for Lightsiders. Hold on, look at the bottom side of your screen. Wonder is just looking for inhibs by himself. Lightside, they need to reset, otherwise they're going to lose more from this push than they gain. But Leo Lucago goes under the tower, looking for the play, but he's going to fall. Harbo shoves back Hums, and Jankos will fall as well. No way this turns into a base race. No way this turns into a base race. Lightside look for the dive. Wonder is looking for the Nexus tower. It's just leader and hustling to defend. Winter turns up to get rid of the wave, to push back the Jace as Rusty Sniper provides the damage. Hustling flashes away to his doom, but the wave falls and leader has done enough to defend. Rusty Sniper, he's got flash, surely he's feeling himself, but he doesn't want to do it.
Wonder he's looking for the 2 members of LLS that are actually backing. They went over the top side of the map. He's not quite going to catch them. They do have the upgraded backs. Oh, just about hits a cancel onto Rusty. Andrew Rusty does have flash and cleanse available to him. And Wonder has a very important raid to attend, quite clearly, because he almost took the base by himself. Let's have a look at this one more time, because this has been some incredible stuff coming from LLS. Hustling and leader so overextended on this mid lane tier 1 tower that's gonna go down with pretty much a blow of a wind. You've got no business defending such tower. Hustling gets caught, then Leo Lucago sees that it's a 3 versus 5 pretty much, decides to engage right here, pays with his life, and I feel like Ruddysack just about slowed down that base race quite enough by getting a few return kills right here to not lose the game right there.
This game has absolutely no right to be this good.
If I told you that this game is dead even in gold, would you believe me? If I showed you Jin's KA right now. Oh no, Harbo.
Oh no, Harbo. No. You cannot be getting caught out on the side lane like that. 50 seconds without your mid laner here. Lightside, they've done a good job pushing up this bot lane, denying Ruddy the power of the free push from those super minions. But they are going to have to abort for the time being. Wait for Harbo to return. In a minute's time, Hextech Soul on the docket for Ruddy still. But Lightside denied them last time, and they'll look to do so again.
All right, let's see what's coming up next. It's going to be the Dragon. It's going to be Soul. Ruddy Sack, Soul Point. For the side of LLS. This is going to be a very powerful Soul as well. Chemtech, when you have so much range and so much damage from Ruddy. No,
Hustling. Hustling just dies. Hustling just dies. Surely no. Rusty Simon caught up fresh away. He's still alive. He's still alive, but Leo Lukaku is not going to be able to stay the same for much longer. Leader takes him down, but that's 5 members of Ruddy running from the 4 shots of Jin. The Rel is down, but the health bars on Ruddy are anemic. LLS have secured priority over the Dragon at the cost of their support's life.
I swear to God, if I see one more face check, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. This is going to be Soul Point for LLS this time around. And next objective coming up, 1.5 minutes. RS wanna end this right here, right now. Water face check it. No!
Oh, and he's got pushed back there. But Rusty Sniper's not in range. Harbo's in a little bit of a rough situation, but Wonder goes down. More kills for Rusty Sniper. Every single one of them earned, but Harbo making plays on the Azir to set him up.
They just can't reach him. They can deal with anyone else on this LLS roster. But Rusty Sniper, the brains from Jin, outrages everyone else from the Ruddy side, especially when he opens Curtain Call. Let's see if they can defend that last tower.
It's just that rapid fire cannon auto. It's disgusting. Jankos going to go in to be a little bit preventative in his endeavors. Winter just body blocking, preventing the damage from getting in. And Highbridge flashes away with his life intact. Yeah. Winter's alive as well. How the hell do Lightside keep getting away with it?
How did no one die? How is Highbridge alive? How is Winter alive? Both Leader and Hums kept free hit in this fight. Oh, how the turns have tabled in this game. Highbridge and Winter have become so tanky that it's almost impossible to take down. And Sniper, Rusty Sniper, sorry, he's got so much range. A very important thing to highlight right here, he might have range, has no summoners, however, for the next fight. 10 seconds on Jankos to get back onto the Rift, and this will most likely be a Baron going uncontested over to LLS.
Yeah, you just can't move in if you're Ruddy Sack. You just don't even get a sniff at it. 37 minutes in, even game. Save for the Baron buff for Lightside. They still haven't taken down that top lane tier 1. That has been stalwart for 38 minutes. But it shall fall in but a moment. And Lightside will look to use that momentum to push through the top lane and destroy Ruddy Sack. Oh my.
I just don't know if this poke Varus has enough damage together with a poke Jace to burn through Volibear and Maokai. They're looking, Jankos is engaged onto Winter, but they're just chipping away very little of his HP. Boneplate can also procced onto Hustlin. Could potentially just look to chip away the tower with a burned up cannon right there. You have 2 waves as well. They haven't focused at all on turning up that mid lane wave. It's all about control. You can't make a wrong move. LLS have come a very, very long way to being so powerful, so powerless, sorry, in game 1, to so powerful in game number 2 to throw it on one fight with Jankos.
Potentially caught here. Chains of Corruption going to go wide. LLS are disengaging and Ruddy Sack have stepped too far forward. Leo Lukaku fights, deal with the ult. Massive from Harbo once more. Sets them up and Lightside knock him down. Wonder and Hums, the only ones left here for Ruddy Sack.
That's all you need, though, from LLS. You need 2 tanks and Rusty Sniper. And that's exactly what they have. Let's see if Ruddy Sack and actually defend their towers.
Oh, Highbridge is getting low. They're going to get the stun down onto Wonder, and he is dead. It's just Hums left. He's able to take out Winter, but I don't think he can touch Rusty Sniper. Steps forward, the dancing grenade. There's no respawns, there's no help. You cannot escape Rusty Sniper ends the game. Lightside are back in the series.
28 kills. It's not an easy task, but it's doable. And it ended very poetically. We had the interview before with